the choice of trusting science. Newfletics Limited Liability Partnership was founded in 2019. A year later, the company was renamed as Sports Nutrition Academy PLT. The Sports Nutrition Academy believes in sports nutrition and its role to optimize athletes' health, maximize their athletic performance, and help them to achieve their exercise goals with evidence-based practices. Being a pioneer in the industry, the company has helped more than 5,000 high-performance athletes, recreational athletes, and the general population in applying nutrition not only for better health, but also to achieve noticeable improvement in sports performance.
Apart from athletes, athletes support personnel such as coaches, parents, sports dietitians, sports nutritionists, sports scientists, and other allied professionals have also benefited with the experience and knowledge obtained from us. Our vision is to provide the highest quality, evidence-based sports nutrition practices, education, and services. To achieve that, we stand still with our 3E mission.
Engage, empower, excellence. The 3E mission drives the company's direction with an array of nutritional services.
We provide body composition assessment, weight management, dietary assessment, personalized menu planning, yearly periodization planning, and training observation for the athletes. We want to make sure that our services are specifically individualized based on the needs.
Education is simply the soul of a society as it passes from one generation to another. The Sports Nutrition Academy serves as a resource hub, educating those who are interested in further enhancing their athletic performance through nutrition.
We conducted a series of physical seminars, webinars, and workshops spreading sports nutrition information, including pre, during, post-training diet, hydration tips, supplements, and doping, etc.
But today, the Sports Nutrition Academy has raised their game by digitizing education, producing sports nutrition courses that are certified by American Council on Exercise, the National Academy of Sports Medicine, and Athletics and Fitness Association of America.
This is considered our big milestone as currently we are the first provider of a structured and online sports nutrition course. We believe that everyone deserves the resource to improve in fitness, not only limiting them to elite athletes, coaches or sports nutritionists, hence recreational hobbyists, enthusiasts, parents, young athletes are welcome to get our education or service too.
Everyone can be their own champion. Every champion has their own secret to success. But of course, no one is born a champion. Champions are built and nurtured.
All right, thank you very much, and welcome all to the Snack Expert series. This is Tanya. You'll see a different face today. Usually Paula is the host, but today I especially request to be the person hosting because today is also the Olympic Day. So happy Olympic Day, everyone. And can we go next? Before we kickstart, I would like to share that Sport Nutrition Academy, or also short as SNAC, we have our newsletter every month sharing the great information about what either courses or expert series that we have. So you can scan the QR code if you'd like to join our newsletter to know more and learn about what we have upcoming every month. We are also pleased to announce that every year we have a membership that allows and share not just the webinars, but also longer expert sessions that, it's a great learning opportunity for many. Yeah. So last year we have 1 hour long sessions, but this year we have bite sizes like today. yeah, or last few months. This is a short session so that it gives a little bit of a teaser to the topic. And yeah, this membership is also an opportunity for you guys to network, especially for those who are into sports, yeah, or sports nutrition. And yeah, so today is the Olympic Day. So happy Olympic Day! And every year, during the Olympic Day, is a time where we gather all those who are uh, passionate about sport, yeah, to lead a movement, yeah, the Olympic movement, to encourage everyone to be active. So therefore, the Let's Move movement. And here it says, you know, pick your plus one, whoever your plus one could be. It could be your parents, yeah, or it could be your loved ones, or even, you know, teacher or students. You know, just go out there, be active, yeah, whether it's walking, yeah, or playing some sport, yeah, as long as you be active on Olympic Day. It's also something that move the Olympic. Yeah, I mean, Olympic movement is not just about high performance, but also really being able to become a better person and impact the community. So today as well is a very special day because today is the last day of our dear President Bart being the IOC president. So on behalf and as an IOC Young Leader 2021 to 2025, I would like to thank you for all your contribution and legacy in the Olympic movement. And tomorrow, we are very excited and proud to have President Coventry to be in the office, to be the first ever woman IOC president. And even more impressive is also she is also a 5-time Olympian, 7 medalist, and 2-time gold medalist. She's also the first African, first IOC president from the African continent. And I'm really excited and also proud because she is also a swimmer. You know, she's an Olympian swimmer, so I'm also a swimmer, and I'm really inspired by her work and her leadership. Not just that, she's also a mom of 2, and she's also a new mom to an 8-month-old. So it's really incredibly impressive what she has done and in the past, and now that she's leading, yeah, the whole Olympic movement. And I'm really looking forward to see what everyone can achieve, yeah, under her leadership. And before I introduce our dear speaker today, I would also like to share that just something very, very similar experience of what we have. I was able and honored to be able to be the team nutritionist for the Rio Olympic Games. And here you can see Christabel. I'm really proud of her. She has been the dietitian for the Paralympic team for the past 8 or 9 years, 8+ years. Yeah. And you know, she is the main dietitian, the nutrition person that all the para athletes go to, all our national para athletes go to. And her involvement in the Paris Paralympic 2024 is something that I'm really proud of. And to see how our para athletes shine and achieve is really amazing and inspiring. So you know, just sharing about this because maybe some of you missed out on last year's Olympic or Paralympic. Yeah, so just wanted to share this nice photo of her as well. And without delaying, I would like to introduce Christabel. Yeah, she's a really experienced sports dietitian who has been taking care of the para team for the past 8+ years, and she's also she has also served as a team leader for the national para swimming team. And I'm really honored to be able to invite her here at our platform to share her expertise. Yeah, I know it's nutrition, but taking care of para athletes is a whole new different world. So without further ado, I would like to welcome our dear Christabel Chong, also known as Bell Chong.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Tanya, for your introduction and happy Olympic Days, everyone. And thank you, Justin, as well. Okay, without further ado, let me share my slide first. Okay, everyone can see, right, my slide?
Yep, we
Yep,
can see.
okay. So
Maybe you
now
want to extend it. Oh, okay,
okay.
I saw it. Good.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah, thank you, Tanya, once again, for inviting me here today. And I'm really honored to share because I know para athletes, right? It's not as popular as able body, but I guess it's gaining the popularity nowadays, and I'm really very grateful. Yeah, because I've been working with para athletes for at plus years, like Tanya mentioned just now, and I feel it's my honor as well. Yeah, when you look at all the para athletes, like how they train, and then their motivation to train and then to join all the competition despite their health issues, despite their disabilities, they can still perform very well. And when you are with the team, right, you can really feel the goosebump, you know. And that is what I feel all these years, watching them from zero to hero. And that is really quite satisfying, I can say. And I don't know if you guys have seen the news. Our Bonnie Bunyao recently, like just yesterday, he has just bagged another gold medal. Yeah, because he just went for another competition in Beijing. And then he successfully bagged another gold medal from Beijing competition. And yeah, well done. Okay, so yeah, done of the introduction, and then let's dive into key nutrition for para athletes. Okay, like Tanya mentioned, it's also my honor that I've been given the opportunity to join the para team last year in Paris. That is also a wonderful experience. If you guys wanted to know more, maybe we can have another session for that lah. Okay, but today we'll just dive into key nutrition first. Okay, yeah, so this is like just my brief background. Everyone should have known already. Okay, so today I'm going to briefly introduce you guys what is actually para athletes, and then what are the eligible impairments we have, because it's not like all disability are being qualified, being qualified into these para sports. Okay, so we have some inclusion and exclusion criteria, and then I'll show you some of the para sports example, and then what are the core goal for nutrition, like what do we do, and then provide you guys some take home message. Okay, so now actually para sports, right? We have to understand first the term para is actually not paralyzed or paraplegia, because I guess people out there, some of them might confuse like, oh, para means paralyzed or paraplegia, but it's actually not. So para, it actually means parallel to the Olympic Games. Okay, so it's not para-Olympic or like paralyzed, but it's actually para or Paralympic Games, which is parallel to the Olympic Games. Okay, so who is actually eligible to join this para? Okay, so you guys can notice we have three main categories here. First, we have physical. Second, we have visual. Okay, and third, we have intellectual. So you can see here, we do not have any Down syndrome. We do not have also for deaf, okay? Because for deaf, we will have another specifically for deaf, which is Deaf Olympic. And also for the Down syndrome, we have Special Olympic, okay? So this is Paralympic. It's for physical impairment, visual, and also intellectual. And then for physical, we have a few criteria for the physical as well. Okay, here this is the more detailed, the detailed explanation. Okay, so just to let you guys have a look. So if let's say impaired muscle power, usually we will have the classification first. Okay, our classifier, they will undergo the classification, and let's say if they are certified. Okay, if let's say our athletes, they are included in all this impairment, then yes, they are eligible to join the para sports. Okay, so we have like impaired muscle power, we have impaired passive range of movement, limb deficiencies. All this we will need to undergo the classification first lah. Okay, and also next we have like leg length difference. Okay, bear in mind that they will have a difference in the length, and then they will have the minimum differences. It's not like suka hati 1 cm, 2 cm, then you are eligible. But like I mentioned earlier, they have to undergo the classification first, and once it's okay, they approve, then okay, then you can join the para sports. Okay, like next is short stature, like what I mentioned just now, like our athlete Bonnie Bunyao, he's one of the he's classified as short stature lah. Okay, so usually for hypertonia, ataxia, atelostosis, okay, all these are mainly the effect in the muscles, okay, like the muscle tension, the inability of them to contract the muscle, okay, or uncoordinated movement, and even like involuntary movement. Mostly we can see in cerebral palsy athlete, okay, CP athlete, or traumatic brain injury athlete, post-stroke as well, sclerosis as well. So usually they will have the combination of these three. Okay, the muscle, we can say the impairment in the muscle lah. Okay, so here our legend, our para legend, Ridwan Puzi. So he is one of the CP athletes lah. Okay, so this is just an example for you guys to have a look. Okay, next, just now we were mentioning about the physical, right? Okay, now we have visual. Visual, and for visual, right, they will have the range also. We will have like maybe half blind to full blind. Okay, so that is classified under visual. And also we have the last impairment, which is intellectual. Intellectual, this is quite interesting because for those who are eligible to join the intellectual team, the group, the impairment must be presented before the age of 18. Okay, so for example, like maybe there's family, okay, family member of maybe someone got into car accident or whatever, and then affected the brain, and then the brain damage, and then become intellectual impairment. But it's over age of 18. So sadly, unfortunately, that specific person is not able to join para athlete lah. Okay, so they must present before age of 18. So means they will need to have the card OKU lah. Okay, the card OKU is the evidence, the proof of them having intellectual since young. Then they can join our para sports. Okay, so yeah, here I'm showing you like what sports we have in para. Okay, like able sports, we have like archery, athletics. So in para we have as well archery, athletic, badminton. Okay, all these are quite normal. And then like blind football, yeah, it's quite interesting. We have blind football, and we have like wheelchair sports like wheelchair basketball, wheelchair tennis, wheelchair rugby. Okay, but in Malaysia we don't have wheelchair rugby. Okay, we don't have wheelchair rugby. Wheelchair fencing, last time we do have, but because they are no longer in program, so yeah, now no more. Okay, yeah, sitting volleyball is also very fun. And then shooting, para powerlifting, paracycling. Okay, so yeah, another thing is boccia. I purposely wanted to introduce boccia sports, okay? Because I bet still a lot of people out there do not really get to know boccia sports. So boccia sports, it's very special because in able body we do not have. Okay, but it's similar to lawn ball, something like lawn ball. Later you guys can go and Google, go and have a search what is boccia. And then yes, I wanted to introduce boccia sports because boccia is also I can say our pride, our proud, okay? Because this photo is actually real photo of our Malaysian team, okay, Chu Wei Lun. So he is the first athlete that got medal in our Paralympic. in Tokyo, silver medal. So he is the first ever boccia player that bagged a medal for Malaysia. So this is a very proud moment for us. And then from there onwards, we are gaining quite a lot of athletes joining boccia. Okay, but yeah, I wanted to spread more to all of you here. So yeah, later maybe you guys can go and search boccia sports. It's a very fun sport, and boccia sports is specifically for like very severe physical athletes, physical disabled athletes. Okay, mostly like a severely CP athlete lah. Okay, like just now you guys know Ridwan Puzi, right? So he can still run, he can still manage himself like his ADL. Okay, but for our CP athletes, for our boccia athletes, most of them required a caregiver. Okay, they can't really do everything themselves, and yet they can still perform. Okay, so this is really a very wonderful wonderful sports for them lah. Okay, so now another thing is blind football. So maybe if let's say you guys are free, you guys can also go and have a look on blind football. And yeah, the name is really blind football. So this football is really just for the blind athletes. Okay, and to be fair in this sport, you can observe, right? Everyone will have the iPad. Okay, it's to blindfold everyone, so the game is fair. Everyone are like totally blind. So some of them, maybe they are partially blind, they can still join this sport. But to be fair, this game, everyone need to be blindfolded. So it's like everyone is like total blind lah. Okay, so can you imagine like how can they kick the ball blindfolded? Okay, so it's really very impressive. But yeah, of course, the ball, okay, in the ball, right, it actually has a bell. So it when you kick, it will have the sound. So they actually listen to the bell and then to kick the ball and to play the game. It's also a very fun game. Okay, later you guys can have a look. Okay, so another sport example, para swimming. So why I choose para swimming here is because for para swimming, para athletics, okay, these sports are considered a very big sport. Okay, and also like Tanya mentioned just now, I'm team leader for para swimming. Yeah, so I wanted to introduce you to para swimming, and also because for para swimming, it actually like all of the impairment are eligible to join para swimming. Okay, like just now, blind football is just for blind. But for para swimming, we have a physical, we have intellectual, and we also have visual impairment. Okay, so for those of you are quite interested, you guys can also have a look later. Okay, so now moving on, a lot of people out there, they are like, oh, okay, what actually does a sport nutritionist or sport dietitian do? Okay, so when you ask this question, and they will answer you, oh, okay, sport nutrition, you plan diet law, you give menu law, or you help the athlete to 减肥 law, to reduce weight, okay, for weight management, or maybe for what, or for recovery law, okay, or plan menu law, or give supplement law. Okay, so maybe people do not really understand deep down what are we actually doing. Okay, so today I'm going to let you guys have a look briefly on what we're actually doing. So it's not just like menu plan that simple. It's not like just provide you supplement or like help you to reduce weight. Oh, okay, you want to reduce 5 kg, I have to reduce. Okay, it's not like that simple. Okay, because deep down, there's actually a lot of consideration we have to do before implementing all of this. Okay, so what we really have to consider before doing your planning. Okay, first, in para athletes, first of all, we have to look into the disability. Okay, bear in mind that every para athlete, they are very different. Even though they are having the same disability, for example, I say CP athlete lah, okay? But in each CP athlete, they're also very different. So first, the consideration we have to look into is the disability. Okay, whether they are CP athlete, they are SCI, spinal cord injury athlete, or they are traumatic brain injury athlete, they are visual impaired athlete, okay, or maybe like even wheelchair. When you look at them, oh, everyone is on wheelchair, but everyone is very different. This one SCI lah, that one post-accident, maybe SCI also, but different class, okay. And then that one maybe post-stroke lah, or that one is post-polio lah. So all of them are very different. Okay, so first disability, and second, we have to look into the sport nature. Okay, let's say we compare boccia athlete just now. I show you guys boccia athlete versus our swimming athletes. Okay, our swimmers. So it's actually very different. When you look into the sport nature, this sport, okay, they have minimal movement versus like our swimmers that expend a lot of energy. So you have to look into the sport nature even though they are having the same disability. So that also plays a major role. Give you a very different insight. Okay, and then next we have to look into coach performance plan. Okay, like just now you guys have seen Tanya have shown you the video. Okay, I guess in the video just now they have mentioned, okay, they are actually prior to implementing, they are discussing with coaches or with the team. So in para sports as well, we will always have to discuss with coach, okay, to get updated on what is coach's plan. Okay, if let's say coach wanted to plan for maybe hypertrophy plan, so we have to ikut lah. Okay, and lastly, sports science. Okay, we work closely with the sports science team as well. For example, our SNC, strength and conditioning. Okay, and also like psychology, because sometimes when nutrition, you are providing your plan, and then we have to tackle their psychology as well. It's not like just, okay, athlete A, please do this, please do that. But then we also have to know the behavior of the athlete and etc. So it's very important to cooperate, integrate each and everyone here lah. That is why most of the time I will tell my athletes, we are like a puzzle, okay? So kurang satu pun tak boleh lah, okay? So for example, if let's say you have everything but you don't have a proper foundation for nutrition, you can't work, okay? It's just like sport car. You have a very nice body, and then you have mechanic to repair everything, but you tak isi minyak, okay? You don't pump petrol. The petrol is empty, so the car won't jalan as well. So same like our body. If let's say you already have very nice technique, like for swimmer, your stroke, everything is very nice, but then you don't have proper nutrition, so your body can't work well. This is what I always tell my athlete lah. Okay, so now the core goal for nutrition. First of all, of course, you wanted to maximize the adaptation to the training. Okay, and then second, of course, you wanted to optimize the performance, and lastly, we wanted to promote the health and well-being. Okay, because without health, athlete can't train. So when you can't train, you do not have the quality training, then how can you perform, right? Yeah, so this is also quite important for them or for everyone to understand this. Okay, now.
White color round t-shirt. All of them must have.
Sorry, I see Miss Wong. Is it Miss Wong is talking? Oh, nothing, okay, then I proceed. Okay, so now, just now I have shown you like, okay, what is the consideration that we need to take into account? And then now this is like our core job lah, okay? So whatever you do before you provide something, okay, you provide some plan, some implementation, we will need to assess the athlete first. So usually I will let my junior to know, okay, you just remember A, B, C, D. A, assess the anthropometry. Okay, anthropometry means we measure the body composition lah. Okay, so now what we do is that we have a few methods. Okay, so I know not every places we have DEXA. Okay, but DEXA is one of the gold standard for bone density lah, measuring bone density, but it also can measure body composition. Okay, so these are, I'm just showing you the methods. Okay, we have DEXA, we have bioimpedance analysis, and then we have like skin fold. You can measure the skin fold, the girth, everything. Okay, but there is like some differences in para sports. Okay, so everyone can have a look on the second photo here. Okay, so I think this is very common for us already, that we are using BIA because it's like easily accessible everywhere and it's also easy to perform. Okay, but can you imagine if, like, for example, our wheelchair athletes how can they stand on this machine, right? Okay, like not make sense. So assessment for anthropometry for para athletes, you will need to have a lot of modified technique. Okay, and some of the equipment they can't use. For example, this BIA lah. Okay, so what we can use, we can have another machine. Okay, this machine we can assess the athlete's body comp in a sitting position or lying position. Okay, so yes, assessment for anthropometric assessment for para athlete is very fun, is very interesting, and most importantly, I can say you need to have critical thinking and you will need to be very creative, because I tell you, everyone, their disability is very different. Imagine using the skin fold. If let's say any one of you here is very familiar with using skin fold, okay, or like you guys have any like specific protocol, for example, Isaac protocol, okay, the protocol, it's like you will have specific sites, right, to get the measurement. For example, your bicep, your tricep, your subscapula, and then your abdomen part, iliac crest, everything. But can you imagine you have athletes without any arms, no left and right arms? So you will start there, you will kantoi macam like, how don't have arms oh? Then where should I take the measurement so this is where the fun part kicks in okay, so for sport dietitian, handling para athletes, yeah, you really need to be very creative. Okay, so that's why here I specifically written down we will need to have a lot of modified technique. Okay, so yeah, like I say, okay, especially for physical athlete lah. Okay, so how about like a wheelchair athlete? How can you measure? So wheelchair athlete, takkan you ask them to stand up and measure right? Okay, so we will have another method, another way to measure. And also for visual and intellectual, okay, both of these we can do similar to the able body because their physique is similar to able body. Okay, and especially for para sports, right? Just wanted to give a friendly reminder that the safety is very important and clear instruction is very important. Okay, why safety is important? Because like I say, like maybe wheelchair athletes or like very severely disabled athlete, which they require caregiver. Okay, means they cannot handle themselves. So when you are performing the assessment on them, then you have to be very careful because we do not want something to happen during your measurement, then athlete injured. Okay, that's a very big no. So have to be very careful. And why I say clear instruction is because imagine you are dealing with total blind athletes and then you wanted to give cue. So you have to give a very clear instruction. Instead of, for example, I say, okay, instead of you say, okay, athlete, come sit down. Okay, so you imagine you cannot see. Then you ask athlete, you ask that person to sit down. Where should I sit? So you have to give clear instruction like, okay, come. So there's a chair in front of you. Can you hold the chair? Can you feel the chair? Okay, can you sit down here? So you have to give a very clear cue instead of like, come sit down, because I guess everyone is very, because this is like very normal for us, like, hey, come, athlete, come in. Okay, sit down because we can see, we assume everyone can see. So this is really like a very normal thing for us, but for them, it's not normal. We have to give a clearer instruction, lah. Okay, so now here, I just show you some measurement that how can we take the weight measurement for wheelchair athletes. So here you can see we have two equipment, right? Okay, so this wheelchair platform, the first one, the black one, is that the athlete can measure together with the wheelchair. So it's easier for the athlete. We don't need to transfer them to the wheelchair, which is the second photo on the right. Because on the right, athletes have to transfer themselves from the wheelchair to the weighing scale. Okay, the first one, it's easier for them, but for the very first time, we will need to take the weight of the wheelchair. Okay, so yeah, here just showing you guys that we have two different ways to take the weight. Okay, so this is the second one. Okay, so here, like I said just now, for para athletes, we will have adaptation of the measuring part. So for wheelchair athlete, of course, we will need to take the measurement all in sitting position. Okay, so you can see here the first photo, athlete standing is able body. And then for para athlete, then we will need to modify. Okay, and then here showing on the right hand side, the middle and the right side, the photo. Okay, so this is the BIA lah, the BIA that I showed just now. So if let's say your athlete is amputee, okay, amputated, so we will have different measuring different measurement. Okay, and the right hand side, sorry. Okay, so the right hand side is like, yeah, like what I mentioned just now, we are measuring in the seated position lah. Okay, so just now was assessing their anthropometry. And then second thing, we will need to look into the biochemical as well. So yeah, everyone have a clearer view now. It's not like just, you want menu planning? I plan for you. Okay, before that, we will have a lot of things to go through first. Biochemical means we will need to have a look in their blood profile, okay, to see if any abnormal blood reading or whatsoever. And then the third point, C, clinical, okay. So yeah, in able body you can go through as well, but in para at least I can say this is really mandatory for you to look into. Okay, C, clinical, you have to look into their underlying and also their health condition, especially their disability, to see their disability, whether it will affect like other health condition as well. For example, like do they have like disrupted thermoregulation, or do they have like any other condition like maybe urinary incontinence, dysphagia, because all of this, it will affect your planning later. Okay, and also you have to check whether the athlete has taken any medication or not lah, because this will also affect your planning later on. Okay, so fourth, we have to check their dietary parts. We have to check their energy needs, their requirement, and then their intake. Okay, whether they are having enough like carbs, protein, okay, or like vitamins, everything. And then you have to check their hydration status, okay, any allergy or not, any supplement usage, and also medication usage lah. Okay, because especially for high performance athlete, national athlete, we really wanted to minimize the doping risk. And it's also very, very important. Okay, regardless national level or maybe like state level, is very important for us to emphasize on this lah, doping risk. Okay. Okay. So now I just show you like hydration assessment. We have a few methods, like you can assess through the urine color, the body weight loss, okay, urine specific gravity, which you are using some tool to go and measure, or you can also measure the sweat rate. Okay, why I emphasize on hydration also is because certain disability, right? Like for example, our SCIs called spinal cord injury or amputee, they may have lower sweat rate as compared to us normal body, okay, able-bodied athlete or normal human being lah, okay, their disability will affect the sweat rate. So this is also one of the key point. If let's say you guys are having para athletes, so you guys will need to look into account on this issue as well lah. Okay, so now I have already mentioned like the assessment that we can do. Okay, so now dive into the intervention part, which is time for you to do your planning. So after you find out everything, so it's time for you to intervene like your plan. Okay, so of course we have to address the problem. Once you find out the problem, then you can solve the problem. Okay, so the mode of delivery here, after we have do all the planning, you have to let the athlete know the planning, athlete and coach lah, okay? You have to deliver your plan to the athlete, because if you tak deliver, or you deliver tak sampai, it's like you shock sendiri only lah. Okay, like you shock sendiri, you plan this, you plan that, but athlete cannot receive. Okay, so in para, mode of delivery is also very important, very crucial, because different disability, you might need to have different mode of delivery, different teaching method. Okay, this one I'll skip first. Okay, so this one, okay, so this is what I'm trying to say. Okay, in this different impairment, you will need to deliver differently. For example, intellectual disability. Okay, remember, right? Just now I said intellectual disability. So basically, intellectual disability, right? They have really quite low literacy level. Means they are actually having difficulty in understanding, maybe understanding the cue or understanding what you are trying to tell them. Okay, so for a normal person, when you are speaking to them, maybe you can just speak as usual. But for these intellectual athletes, you may need to use different method. Okay, maybe you need to require a lot of rehearsal, a lot of repetition, or you have to give them a lot of like analog for them to think, or maybe it's like some specific method to share to them in order for them to get what you mean. Okay, for example, I directly give you example. Instead of like, for example, you are giving them education, okay, you have to say, maybe you are trying to let them know vitamin C is very important. Okay, why? Because vitamin C will increase your immune system. So I believe everyone here, you know what does that means, but it doesn't imply on our ID athletes. Okay, ID means intellectual disabled athlete, like ID athletes. Okay, so maybe you have to use another way, like, how can you convey vitamin C is very important because it will enhance your immune system, or it helps in combating the free radical, whatever. So you have to use some other methods. For example, like, vitamin C is like soldiers. Okay, so when you eat the vitamin C enter your body. Okay, it like soldier, it can help you to defeat all the orang jahat in your body, so your body gets stronger. So you have to use another way to let them understand. So this is what I mean lah. Okay, another thing, visual impaired. Okay, like what I mentioned just now, you have to provide very precise statement or the cue, like what I mentioned just now lah. Okay, athlete come in, sit down. So you have to give like very specific where to sit. And then like when you are explaining like your plan to them, for example, you say, okay, your rice portion, you have to reduce to half. Okay, so if let's say you wanted to show them, they cannot see. So no point of you showing them the photo of the rice cutting to half. Okay, so instead, you can tell them maybe, okay, when you are trying to scoop the rice, okay, you have to know when you scoop, you cannot scoop too deep, because when you scoop too deep, it's like boom boom lah. Okay, when we wanted you to have flat, so you have to say, okay, just scoop as usual. And then after you scoop, how many scoop? 3 scoop, 4 scoop, okay, or 2 scoop, instead of like just half it. Okay, you need to give a very clear cue. Okay, the third one is like for example, CP athletes. Okay, dysarthria means they can't talk very clearly. I don't know if I can play this video. Okay.
What would you say is the most misunderstood thing about you? What would you say?
Okay, so this is like just example. Okay, if let's say you have athlete like this, you have to communicate with the athlete. Okay, so you have to try to understand them, because if let's say you wanted to get information from them, you have to really understand them, what they are trying to tell you. So you have to pay more extra attention, and maybe you can use like hand gesture to understand them. If let's say they can type, their literacy level is okay, that's fine. But if let's say they are having hard time to communicate with you, and then literacy level is low, which in our national athlete, we do have athlete like this, okay? It's very hard for you to understand them, and they are illiterate, okay? So whatever they use, they will voice note you. So when they voice note you, this is what we get lah. So yeah, you have to be very, very, very patient to listen to them, to get the information, and also to convey back your message. Okay, and then lastly, hearing impairment. Okay, this is just sharing, because like I say, in para sport, we don't have deaf, but we do have encountered deaf athletes before lah. Okay, so for deaf, it's easier because you can use visual aids. Okay, we can write, use paper and pen, pen and paper for them to understand everything. Okay, but for blind, it's different. That's why I mentioned here, it's very different for all the disability. Okay. Okay, so okay, so that are the intervention. So like what I say, the mode of delivery is very, very challenging, but it's also very important for you to deliver your message to our disabled athletes. Okay, so yeah, here just to let you have a look, like maybe some of you might wonder, like how about their energy recommendation, their protein recommendation. So basically, energy recommendation compared to able body, they will have lower, okay, because how to say, because they will have lower RMR, resting metabolic rate, or because of we have to depend on the level of disability as well. If let's say most of them are on wheelchair, means their expenditure also lesser, so their energy recommendation also lesser lah. But for visual and intellectual, they might have similar, but then yeah, we have to look into the factors like, are they accessible to shopping or cooking, any social activity that affect their daily diet, this and that. Okay, because this will also affect their energy intake. Okay, so for protein, it's actually similar to our able-bodied athletes. Okay, but sometimes they might require even higher than our able-bodied, because we have to see, like I mentioned, do they have any health issue, clinical condition? For example, if let's say they have pressure sore, then we will need to have some adjustment in the protein intake. Okay, and then yes, for hydration also, I wanted to emphasize, because especially for our wheelchair athletes, okay, we need to see the practicality. Sometimes we know, okay, especially like if let's say any coaches here, and I see some names, okay, yeah, coaches here. If let's say you are handling able body, so you are like, okay, very, very normal that you are like, okay, athlete, hydration is very important. You have to drink this much. But in para, it may have some difference. Like just now I said, we have to look into their sweat rate. Okay, just now we mentioned, right, amputee, they might have lower sweat rate. Okay, and then like I wanted to emphasize on wheelchair. Why? because we need to see the accessibility to use the toilet during exercise. Okay, during exercise, we do not want them to like interfere too much of their training. Okay, but at the same time, you will need to require them to maintain good hydration status. So what I do is we have to emphasize pre and post, but during they are actually okay. I allow them to get a little bit of like dehydration, but not too severe. But then enough for them to adapt and then to train. Okay, because you imagine like just now our boccia player, if they wanted to go to use the toilet, it takes around 10 minutes. So imagine if let's say they wanted to go for 3 times, half an hour gone. So you already cut out the momentum of the training. And I believe this is not what coach want. And when you already interfere the momentum of the training, you might interfere the quality training as well. So in para sports, you will have a lot of other factors to take into account lah. Okay. Okay, so yeah, this is another sharing, like our RPG. This is SEA Games, okay? SEA Game in Para, we call ASEAN Para Game. So back then in 2023 in Cambodia, one of the hottest country, we went. Okay, so just wanted to share with you that we have a lot of different hydration intervention. Okay, for example, like you can use portable fan, ice pack, whatever. Okay, and then also from nutrition side, we can use like we need to emphasize on sodium and fluid intake. Okay, remember it's not just plain fluid, but sometimes we require to top up the sodium, or we can say electrolyte. Okay, electrolyte is also very important to maintain the hydration level of athletes. And then I just wanted to share electrolyte. It's not just from sport drink. Okay, one of another thing aside from sport drink, the alternative, it's coconut water. Coconut also contains very good electrolyte level. Okay, you can provide coconut water, or you can provide some snacks contain higher sodium intake, for example, like seaweed, okay, or like maybe like peanuts. Okay, peanuts with salt, but not coated with all the sugar lah. Okay, and another thing is like like the asam boy. So for my athletes, I will also provide them another alternative like the asam boy, because they contain the salt as well, or like condiments like ketchup, all the soy sauce, because it's also considered high sodium. So for those heavy sweater athletes, they tend to sweat a lot. So besides just drinking sport drink, which also contains sugar, so I will provide them other alternative without sugar. Okay. Oops. Hold on. Where's my slide?
You are showing the slide.
Am I?
Yep.
Then maybe something happened to my laptop. What slide is it now?
It's on the creativity is the key to educate.
Oh, really? Yeah. It's not here. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Something wrong with my laptop. Okay, continue. Yeah. So just now I've mentioned, right? Creativity is also quite important for our para athletes, like how you convey your message to them. Okay. So another thing is that you guys can have like practical hands-on for them. So when you have practical, I believe not just for
All
para
these
athletes.
Zoom are free, Every year you pay for membership.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, where am I? Okay, yeah, so regardless para or able body, right? I think practical hands-on is one of the quite effective way for you to educate the athletes. Okay, so one of it is like maybe you can have cooking class, so you can educate athlete through cooking, by cooking, and then teach them, okay, this is how much the portion you need to have. Okay, if let's say the athlete is literate enough, you can even go deeper. For example, like how many exchange of the cups you need, etc. lah. Okay. So another example I can show you is that you can have also food shopping. Okay. So from food shopping, you can educate athlete like what food you can choose and what food you should minimize to have. Or like I say, visual cue, especially for ID athlete lah, intellectual athletes. Okay, so now, yeah, I guess this is my last slide. So the take-home message from me to everyone here is that in our para sports, right, we have actually limited number of studies, but nowadays getting more and more. But because of the heterogeneity also lah, which means, like I mentioned in simple term is everyone is different. Every para is different. Even you mentioned everyone is on wheelchair, but everyone is still different. Okay. So because of this, we will need to have like really specific nutrition plan for most of them. Okay. So from our side is that, okay, for whoever dealing with para athletes, you need to have strong foundation of sport nutrition and also clinical skills. And of course, you need to have critical thinking, like I mentioned just now. You need to think critically, and then you have to be very flexible, very patient, and you have to be extra creative to deal with them lah. Okay, so sport dietitian, when you have all the knowledge, or if let's say you can't pass to athlete, it's also halfway. So we need to use whatever way we can to pass the knowledge to our athletes so they can get it. So baru jalan lah kan. Okay, like pass pattern like that lah. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's all from my sharing. Thank you everyone. Thank you for your attention. So yeah, that's all from me. I'll hand over back the floor to Tanya.
Okay, thank you, Christabel, for
To Justin, sorry.
it's okay for such an informative and also inspiring sharing. Yeah, I believe yeah, all of you have learned a lot, especially from nutrition part about nutrition for para athletes. So yeah, we will now open to the floor for any questions. Did you have any questions you would like to ask?
Oh, I see one of the coach for para swimming is here. Oh, really? Thank you. Thanks for joining. Yeah, if you guys have any question, you guys can ask. So who's the para swimming coach here? Oh, Dion. Oh, hi, Dion. I thought Dion is able. Yeah, I saw Dion's name just now. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Hope you guys gain some insight lah from my sharing.
Okay, any questions from the floor?
It's not too heavy, right?
Yeah, it's easy to understand, and I also like wow by how you did the assessment with the para athlete is totally different. Yeah, it really challenge your creativity.
Yeah, correct. Very challenging, but very interesting. Oh yeah. Yeah. Dion last time para, I've forgotten, yeah.
Okay, we
But
have
Dion very interesting, right, para?
last time.
Oh, okay. We have question. Do you standardize the skin for measurement protocol for different para? Different para, you mean different disability, is it? So for skin for measurement protocol, if let's say wheelchair athlete, yes, we do have some standardization. Like for example, if let's say our wheelchair athletes, they have similar disability, then yes, we do standardize. But for example, if let's say they have multiple disability, then we might need to adapt. Okay, for example, it's like for wheelchair athletes, sometimes most of them I will use sum 4. Okay, we use tricep, bicep, subscapular, and also abdominal. But if let's say wheelchair, okay, wheelchair seated, and if let's say no arm, okay, amputated, amputee, or maybe they have a dysfunctional joint, which the muscle is not usable, so we will need to adapt. Okay, for example, if let's say our protocol is like right side, so we might need to adapt and then change to left side like that lah. Yep. So to answer that, yeah, standardized, if let's say it's general, then yes. But if specific case, then we will adapt.
Okay, thanks, Belle. I hope. Yeah. Okay, I have a question. Like, what is the most challenging part you have encountered throughout all these years when you serve the para-athletes team?
My most challenging, I can say, is
Overcome it.
my most challenging, I can say, is like really the conveying message part lah.
Communication.
The communication part.
Yeah.
And also for you to really, for them to really follow your plan. This is one of the most challenging part. Yeah, maybe I can share one case. Okay, I got one athletic jumper. Okay, she's ID lah, intellectual. So her issue is that she has low muscle mass, like really low. Okay, you can imagine around 165 cm with the body weight of around 41 kg. So it's like really under. And then because her sports, she's a jumper, so she require the power, okay? But problem is she's too skinny and then no muscle. If let's say you got lack of muscle mass, you can't generate the power. So the issue is that coach also referred to me to increase muscle mass. But of course, when you wanted to increase muscle mass, you need to follow up with the SNC as well lah, gym trainer. So initially we try to provide hypertrophy everything, plan with coach, and then plan with our SNC, and then with our diet plan. But problem is athlete also the weight is not gaining. So like I mentioned just now, it's actually very important for us to find out the problem. Once you find out the problem, baru you can do the planning. So I was thinking, how come this athlete like cannot gain weight? So I tried to dig more. I tried to find out the diagnosis, everything. And then I find out something, which I refer to doctor. And then after refer to doctor, then because I suspected something already clinically wise, which because dietitian we cannot provide a clinical diagnosis, which we need doctor. So I refer to doctor. And after I refer to doctor, we run all the tests. Okay. We even sent to hospital to do the scope, everything. Then after that, we found out like we diagnosed, doctor diagnosed pancreatitis. So after finding out, you can feel the sense of satisfaction from our side because we have already find out the problem, right? So when you know you have the problem, so you can do your intervention already. But this is the most challenging part because you really need to make sure the athlete follow the intervention. For example, medication. Okay, when I follow up this athlete, right, I ask, ada makan ubat tak? Hah, ubat apa? See, I tell you, you want to 吐血, you know. The athlete can ask you ubat apa. I'm like, kan, last time I bring you to hospital. The ubat that doctor gave us, correct, your do the scope, right? Because athlete don't know scope ma. So it's like, you have to masuk tube, correct 到这样辛苦 And then you tell me what ubat. So athlete don't know where's the ubat. So we have to go and retake the ubat. Because when you follow up, right, it's like, we already found out the problem already, diagnosis everything already, and then plan I also give you already my nutrition plan, my diet plan, everything. We even contacted cafe, like, okay, this athlete need to eat this, and that. But then no improvement. Rupa-rupanya, what ubat? Because athlete didn't take the medication, so the condition is still the same because we need the medication. And then when I double check, cross check, follow up on the diet plan, no, I didn't eat like this, I didn't eat like that. So this is one of the most challenging part I can say lah. Even though you have done everything, but you also have to make sure your athlete really follow your plan lah.
Yeah.
So Justin, yeah.
Yeah, I understand because the commitment of the athletes, and then if they are able to understand what are you going to do for them, what is the intervention is very important.
Yeah. Although like you have all the plan, like what you said, the commitment, and also like you have to like really jaga them that detail for them to follow the plan, no?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, we have one more question from Paula. So how do you manage with so many athletes with different disabilities?
Oh, okay. Like I say, you have to have the critical thinking, and yeah, you really have to pick up very fast because like it's actually very tough. That's why your self-discipline first is very important. You have to keep on reading, keep on updating yourself. Okay, updating on all these different type of disability, and then you really need to think out of the box. And then of course you have to refer a lot of references to see, like maybe after you refer, but refer is just refer. When you wanted to practice, you wanted to apply on your athlete, you have to see also, because it's not like you refer the reference, then you can directly apply on your athlete. So it's like you have to refer, you have to think yourself whether it's okay or not, whether it's applicable or not. Okay, refer, you have to think yourself critically, think out of the box, and then see the feasibility, everything, and then you apply. Yeah, so that's I can share lah.
Understand.
The experience is also very important.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Okay, I think that's all. So yeah, once again, I really appreciate your time tonight with us to share about para athletes. I think we really need to put more attention to this group of community, and also to understand how we as a nutritionist to support them. Yeah, and okay, so I will take turn to share the slide. Okay, so for those who would like to know more about how nutrition supports para athletes, yeah, you can stay tuned for our upcoming Level 2 online course, which costs only 28 ringgit. Yep, you can go to our website and check it out. And then next month we will have Coach Sabrina, who is the co-founder of Dual Sparks Academy, and also the head coach of Malaysia Deaf Badminton team. So she will be sharing about her challenges in coaching these national deaf badminton athletes and how she overcomes them. Yeah, and you will also get to understand how to communicate with deaf badminton athletes. So yeah, so save your time, save your date to join us. And you can also follow us in our social media or our websites for latest news and also updates. So we will always share about nutrition tips for athletes or for general populations. So you can also check out the Fun Fest where we shared last year about Olympians and also Paralympians diet. Then you will get to know how they eat for their peak performance. Yep. And once again, thanks everyone for joining tonight. And yeah, I hope to see you all again in next month, July. Okay, thanks, Belle, and thanks everyone for joining. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye bye. Good night, everyone.
Good night.